So let's talk a little bit about movement, shall we? What type of movement does my higher body, light body, soul body need right now? So welcome to another video. I'm Sam from CoachSamRod.com, and I wanted to expand a little bit further into this really, really important topic when it comes to movement. Breaking out of the old paradigms and breaking out of the old mindset of what we have accepted the only movement to be. When we talk about movement, we automatically think of physical movement, okay? And yes, that is a type of movement, but I like to break it down to into four different kinds of movement: the mental movement, emotional movement, energy movement, and of course your physical movement. All along this process, the spiritual awakening dash ascension, which honestly right now it's like it's all blending in. Before, they used to be a little bit separate, but not anymore. A lot of people are actually even going through the ascension process without having gone through through spiritual awakening, which is quite interesting to say the least, because I have people that I know that are actually there. So needless to say, everything is changing and everything is shifting. But going into the movement, there's going to be all kinds of movement required. Again, these 4 levels of movement are what I want to open you up to, because they will all be needed. You will need to do all of these different kinds of movement. It all depends on what your higher self, light body, needs in that moment for that specific situation that you're going through. And I always say, again, keeping it super simple, ask, really tune in and start asking, start listening, start feeling things inside of your body. Your body will communicate with you. Your body is actually always communicating with you. It's just a matter of now actually listening, now actually taking this very seriously and starting to honor what your higher self, light body needs. So, gonna go a little bit into the levels of movement. When I talk about mental movement, this is all that stuff in your mind, in your mental body. That could be thoughts, could be also words. And the movement is part of the release. So whether it's just in your mind, in your all of these thoughts are coming out of you, it's a form of release. It's the biggest thing is to consciously be aware and consciously be breathing, anchoring more of your light as all of these thoughts move. It's almost when you're outside and you're sitting looking up at the clouds, and the clouds, you notice the clouds start to shift. You start to see the clouds moving. You're not attaching to the clouds. You're just allowing the clouds to move and to morph. It's kind of like that when your mental mind, your mind starts to open up, and this is part of the release. You're just allowing the energy of your thoughts to move through you. It could be done through just thinking. It could be done through speaking them out, and it could also be done through writing. And writing is a huge level of mental movement. That's also physical movement, of course, and it can also open up and activate emotional movement. So emotional movement is moving your emotions, right? The emotional movement, again, it's all can be done through physical movement, physical release, shaking, running, jumping, crying, writing, and sometimes words will come through. So the biggest thing about all of this is that as you continue to open up to all of these kinds of movement, you're going to start to realize that they all overlap. In fact, when all of them overlap, you'll experience a bigger release, a bigger breakdown, and a bigger breakthrough, which is huge. So when it comes to physical movement and energy movement, again, it's all combined, right? And it's important. It's important to allow yourself to notice your thoughts, your mental body, your emotion. You don't have to pinpoint exactly the exact emotion you're feeling all the time. You just have to connect to the energy, which is part of the energy movement. Energy movement allows you to connect to your thoughts, your emotions, and your physical movements at an even deeper level than before. And this is where the clearing becomes a little bit deeper. So I just said that when you do 4 of them, it's an even bigger, it's an even deeper clearing. But also the energetic clearing of it all. When you are able to connect energetically to your thoughts, to your emotions, and to your physical movements, this allows a bigger breakthrough. So all of these different types of movement are super, super important. And one of the biggest things that I also want to mention is that you will go through phases where you may feel like you are not doing any of those movements when in fact, especially when you're sleeping, when you're in the sleeping phase, you will sleep for hours, days, and even weeks sometimes. When you're in the phase where you're exhausted beyond anything, beyond belief, and you're just kind of in this relaxation mode, not really motivated to do anything, that's when the energetic movement at a cellular and DNA level is even bigger. Okay, because movement, we associate movement with physical movement. We have to move. We have to physically move our hands. We have to physically move our legs in order to create some sort of movement. And yet, the internal movement, the cellular, the energetic movement that is required to go even deeper into this process will be done by very little physical movement. This is why sleeping is so huge. This is why you laying in bed and just relaxing and doing absolutely nothing physical is such a big part of this process, because it takes you out of your conscious linear mind and it brings your subconscious, superconsciousness to take over this process. And this is the aspect, this is the higher self, where the higher self takes over and starts to do the deep end of this process. So in any anytime you, not any, this is like a constant. I'm feeling this more and more and more, like this is a constant. Just allowing myself to feel into, what do I need to do right now? What kind of movement do I need to do? What kind of release do I need? This is like breathing, guys. You inhale your light, but there's always this release. This constant release, mental, emotional, physical, and energetic, is so normal and natural. The biggest thing is we haven't been doing it as conscious as we need to now. So as we become more conscious about all those thoughts, about all those emotions, and about all those energies that need to flow through you, the more you're going to support yourself, your body, inner child, all of these different aspects of you that are ready to integrate. And the more you're also support the reality, and the more you'll be able to support other people as well. So really feel into your body what kind of support, what kind of movement will support you the most right now. And remember that things always shift, things always move. It's almost never going to be the same thing, or the same thing in the exact same way that you did it last time. Be open to, now you have to do it this way, or now you have to change this, or now it's going to be a little different. It's always going to be part of like the test, so that we don't attach to just one way, one tool, and do the same thing in the exact same way. Everything's always meant to shift. Everything's always meant to move. And so really allow yourself to stay wide open to that. So with that, thanks for being here. Thanks for being so open. And you're welcome to ask if you have questions, if you would like to share also what you guys have been going through. Love to hear it more in the comments. So have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.